Okay, so just want to say one thing before we get started with this podcast. It is dreaded audio only. I know I did a poll a while back. I asked what everybody wanted to do as far as audio only or video, and everybody chose video, of course, because this is YouTube, but I just wasn't able to get it done. We've been through a million different complications trying to get a video style podcast done. I think we've just about got it figured out, but we wanted a podcast and didn't want to keep you all waiting. So once this little clip intro here is over, it's going to go to audio only. Go grab you some headphones, pop them in, plug it into your car, listen to it on the way to work, or you can just sit down and listen to it either way. But that's what it's going to be for now, probably for the first few episodes until we get it going, or if the audio only thing seems to go over okay, we might just do that until we have the means to make the video style the way it needs to be. But nonetheless, BP Hero Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1. Here we go. So so this is Season 3, Episode 1 of the BP Hero Podcast, brought to you by Evil Sports and softball fans. Got my main man, Will Webb, here with me. Will, how you doing?
Good, man. Good to be here.
It is good to be here. It's been way too long. I'm sure everybody's been going crazy.
I've been going crazy.
Dude, you and me both. I mean, we've been beating our heads off the wall. I've been telling everybody, the podcast is coming soon. The podcast is coming soon. And it just seems like it's one thing after another. It never ends.
It's been a headache, that's for sure.
But one thing we're working on, I know that we're 30 seconds into this podcast, and probably already got 8 dislikes because it's audio only. But we are working on getting the video stuff going. Camera equipment's expensive, and I guess I could start a GoFundMe for that.
Like I said, they're starting for everything else. You might as well.
Yeah. We were talking before we got started here with the podcast about things you can start GoFundMes for, here goes the dog getting ready to bark. Just have a seat, man. It's cool. But starting all the things you could do GoFundMes for, if they don't like the video-only podcast, they could definitely pay to fly us, one way or the other. I mean, you got the better weather out there. I'll definitely fly out there.
Well, it's been raining here lately, so I don't know.
We got a whole bunch here yesterday. I guess I fell asleep. I work nights now. I guess that's one change since the podcast. No longer railroading. For those that may know me or know, I did work for the railroad. I'm not doing that anymore. Working for 3M out of Columbia, Missouri, and I'm working the midnight shift. So things have been kind of back-asswards for me. I didn't even say that right, but they've been kind of upside down for me. That's why it's kind of lacking on the content. It's like come home, sleep, get up, spend time with family, and go to work. It's like a real person job. Like I don't get to sit in the hotel anymore and edit softball videos for hours on end waiting to go back home. So that's been a bit of an adjustment. But anyway, yesterday, I guess there was a monsoon coming. I didn't know. I let the dog out and fell asleep. Usually he barks and wakes me back up. And I guess the monsoon came and he never barked. My wife came home at noon to bring the little boy home, and the dog was outside, just dripping wet. Yeah, I got reamed for that one.
Are we in line? Why don't you go in the bed?
Uh-oh. Is that food? You got food?
No, I'm fixing to go in the bedroom in a second.
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to cancel out the noise.
Oh, it's all good.
All right.
Oh, you going now?
Yeah.
All right, toodle-doo. Oh, you're taking everything with you. I thought you were leaving us. I thought you were leaving us already.
No.
Be like those. Like the time we used to put Gabe on the spot and make him tell a story so I could go wander off and do something. Anyway, enough with the rambling. Let's get this thing started here. We're starting to get off the Dan Le Batard show, just the constant banter. And I know we talked about that earlier, how much you love that. Who likes Dan Le Batard show? Comment below. I kind of like listening to those guys. They are absolute goons. They do talk about sports, yes, but the banter just kills me. It's immature. It's funny. I really enjoy it, but I guess not all people are the same. So anyway, enough about all that. Tell us about yourself, Will. Where are you from? What do you do? What's your hobbies other than softball? Are you playing softball right now? You still got a broken foot? What's going on?
All right, well, for most of you probably don't know me, I'm Will Webb. I'm out of North Carolina. I live in a little town called Leland now. It's right outside of Wilmington on the East Coast. And I'm originally from a little small town called Rockingham, for those few that are NASCAR fans.
Yeah.
We had a great track there. It got taken away from us. But
so what happened there? I don't mean to interrupt you. Tell us about the track. What happened? I vaguely remember the story. Didn't they quit taking care of it, right?
Yeah, I don't really know what happened, but during that time, a lot of racers were moving out west, and the owner, Bruton Smith, this is just from what I know, or what I think I know anyway.
Yeah.
You know, he bought a bunch of tracks out west, moved a bunch of races out there, and we went from 2 races to 1 race, and then I heard they wanted to put lights there, and we just didn't have the funding to do it, and so it kind of dwindled away. We had a few smaller events there, and then eventually the track just got let go, and it's been passed back and forth a few times. And
so there's nothing going on there now, right?
No, not really.
Huh, that's a shame. That was always a fun track to watch.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any NASCAR fans here or not, but that was always kind of cool to watch the NASCAR races at that track. It's like the old legendary tracks like that, but day in the life and times, you know.
Yeah, everything changes.
But continue on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you about the Rockingham thing there.
No problem. So, anyway, I just turned 24. Been playing softball since I was maybe 18, 19. And
you're
like
just a
most,
pup, bro.
Huh?
You said you're just a pup. I didn't realize you were that young. I thought
Yeah.
you were like 26, 27.
No. Like most other people, I played baseball all my life and just kind of transitioned into it. And now I actually haven't played in quite some time. I messed my foot up in an event that I will not speak of.
Oh,
and,
okay.
So yeah, my foot's been messed up for a while, and that's that. I really haven't played lately.
So what's the progress with the foot? Off record, I mean, I know we've talked about it. You and I have. What's going on with that? Is it feeling any better? I know you said you went and played those league games that one night.
Yeah, it's getting better. I don't know. It's definitely getting better. It couldn't get any worse. So
right.
Hopefully I'll be back in shortly.
So when you transition, let me ask you this. I was talking with a guy the other night. When you transitioned from baseball to softball, was there any kind of adjustment for you? Did you keep your baseball swing? I mean, I've seen your softball swing, but others haven't. So how much of your baseball swing did you keep when you made the transition? I know that's always kind of a big topic with some.
Well, to be honest with you, I quit playing baseball freshman year, or right after freshman year.
Right.
Just got burnt out on it. I like spending time with my friends during the summer. Didn't want to, dedicate my life to softball, or to baseball, rather.
Sure.
So from what I remember, though, I always had kind of a front foot swing. So, you could say that I brought a little bit of that to softball, but it was a big adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, old habits die hard. I mean,
yeah,
even if you've played, even a little bit of baseball, you find yourself wanting to do those habits. Like there's been a couple guys from around here locally that are pretty good hitters as far as like the caliber players that I run around with and guys that I play with. They're pretty good hitters, and they never played baseball. Picked up softball just kind of out of random, and it was just one thing. Like they just immediately learned a softball swing, and it was like bam. And there's no bad habits to fight off with the baseball stuff. I mean, if you're athletic enough, in my opinion, if you're athletic enough, and you've just got a violent baseball swing, I mean, you're going to hit the ball well no matter what.
Yeah.
But for people like me, like my baseball swing was kind of blah. So transitioning was that much worse for me. And when I first started playing, I keep telling myself I'm going to do a video on this one of these days. You could go to the field that we used to hit batting practice at, because we all sucked so bad that none of us could hit a ball out of a 230-foot fence, and we didn't want to go pick the softballs up on the bigger field, so we always hit on the little field. But trust me, I'm not like saying, "Oh my God, I'm awesome," but I mean, I've came a long ways, and I know I get a lot of hell on the internet about my swing and about how I hit, and that's fine. I don't care. I mean, you know, I look back at where I've came from and realize I've came a long ways, and obviously I still have a long ways to go, and I recognize that.
Yeah, but, that's an interesting point you made about some of the guys not having to make a big adjustment. I think I made this comment to somebody the other night, and I was talking about watching Schwarber hit and Bryce Harper for that in the home run derby, and I just look at those guys swing and how they swing, and I can see that those guys could be just great softball players. You know, Schwarber's got a great. He's got that front foot swing, and I think it was Tashira that was commentating, was talking about how hard it was to time the baseball right when you have that front foot swing. But man, you could just see him hitting a softball and just hitting those 4-foot lasers that everybody likes. You know.
Of course.
He's just got that type of swing and movement.
Right. See that you talk about Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper was the same way. I was talking with a few friends of mine about that. I mean, one thing about a baseball swing that's different from a softball swing is, baseball, you can rely on kind of being smooth and just kind of getting through the ball, because if you're playing, any kind of baseball at all, I mean, the pitchers are coming in minimum 80 miles an hour. Just get through the ball and you're going to hit it hard.
Right.
It's to where softball, the ball's coming 12 miles an hour. You've got to generate all the power. It's not going to go anywhere.
Exactly.
So, you like Bryce Harper, like, my God. I mean, just if he could just get through a softball, wow. I don't think it would land yet. I mean, he gets his whole body into a swing. His lower half, he's got a lot of coil in his upper half. It's impressive to watch.
It is.
So, did you see all the controversy on the internet about, Bryce Harper hitting one ball before the next landed? Did you see all that? I did, and
I watched the whole derby live, and for what I saw, he was not the only one to do it. So I kind of brushed that off. I kind of figured there would be some kind of controversy just because it was him and he was in DC. But yeah, I don't know.
See, that's I don't know. I was listening to Freddie and Fitzsimmons. I'm a loser now. I mean, I got a half-hour drive to work every night. I listen to sports talk radio on the way to work, on the way home. I was listening to Freddie and Fitzsimmons on ESPN, and they were saying, that the MLB didn't really take advantage of the home run derby and how exciting that was. I mean, how many close matches were there? And then for that to come down to the end like that, I mean, you couldn't write a better story.
Oh yeah.
And the MLB didn't take advantage of that. I kind of wonder if part of that wasn't because it is Bryce Harper. I mean, do you want Bryce Harper to be the face of the sport? Look at how the guy acts. I mean, obviously he's a good ball player. He's hitting 220 with like 20-something home runs this year. But point being, I mean, he's proven he's a ball player. He's been in the league since he was 17, 18 years old. So
yeah, and that's another good point there. I talked to some of my friends, and that was probably the first home run derby that I watched from beginning to end, and I enjoyed every single second of it because it was that good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But another interesting point you bring up is he's hitting 220 with X amount of home runs and then this amount of strikeouts, and I think softball is kind of the same way. You always hear the cliche, chicks dig the long ball. But how many guys get picked up just because they can hit it 400 feet? Rather than picking a guy up who hits 800 but hits maybe one home run a weekend.
Well, see, here's my thing with that. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't teams that need guys that hit the long ball. I mean, goddamn, that's all I'm good for. But the thing with that is a good ball player and a good kind of coach and someone with a good understanding of the game will take notice of the guy that hits 850, 900, whether he's hitting one or two home runs a tournament, or even if he's hitting 850 or 900 and hitting 7 or 8 home runs a tournament. That's the other thing too, is it's hard to find the guys that hit 7 or 8 home runs a tournament and hit for that high average.
Right.
I totally agree. I would take a team full of guys that can hit 800 as opposed to a guy that hits sub 500 with 4 or 5 home runs in the tournament and a handful of RBIs. I mean, sure, his hits are going to make a difference, but replace him with an 800 hitter, your lineup will never stop.
Yeah, and that makes the guys like KP and like Baker and Purcell, that makes those guys much more valuable.
Absolutely.
Because they can do it all.
Yeah, I mean, Purcell's one of the best base hitters in the game. It's kind of weird to see him in the leadoff spot this year for
Yeah.
Smash It Sports. He's been in the leadoff spot for these last few weeks. And, I mean, why not? I mean, the pitcher gets a runner no matter what in the conference this year because all the gear and the garb and everything. The pitcher gets a runner no matter what. So why not let him get on base, hit a double? I mean, he's still good. His speed is still good for doubles. So why not let him hit a double, get on base, and then have someone run for him? I mean, it's foolproof.
He didn't hit leadoff at the Smoky, did he?
That I don't know. I want to say that he did actually. I think it was him and Pearson and Harvey. I want to say. I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, I thought it was KP, then Harvey, then Andy, but
either way, I mean, who do you pitch to?
yeah. I mean that's probably the most dangerous top three in all of softball. I mean,
absolutely. It was kind of the crazy. I don't know. Did you watch Dan Smith play Smash It in the losers bracket final?
Did not.
So, interesting call to start the game. I actually think, yeah, you're right. It was Purcell hitting third. I can't remember who was hitting in front of him. It was obviously Harvey or KP, one of the two, whichever order they were in. To start the inning, in the first inning, they walked the first two batters to pitch to Purcell.
Huh.
Literally, there was no score. There was no score. Obviously, there was no outs. And they walked the first two batters to get to Purcell, banking on him keeping the ball in, hitting to a double play. I'm not real sure what their thought process was there.
Yeah.
But they did it. Purcell hit a home run, and that pretty much set the pace for the entire game.
Yeah, the ball flew well at the Smoky, too, which surprised me a little bit, I'll be honest with you, because it was hot and humid.
Yeah, it was, seemed to be hot and humid down there, and, the big thing down there was they were hitting stadiums. They always hit stadiums, and they hit Classic M's this year, and it didn't seem to slow anybody down, especially, Resmondo. I mean, they've arguably got the best power in the country.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, look at their 1 through 8 guys and find one of them that doesn't, couldn't hit a home run on command.
Yeah. Yeah, but you say they use stadiums. I think they actually use what they call bad batch stadiums, but that goes to show you right there that bad batch stadiums still fly a long way.
Oh, sure. They I can't remember if it was the Hall of Fame Classic. I want to say it was the Hall of Fame Classic or one of the duels they did there in Florida where they had the bad batch stadiums out there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I remember that.
Yeah, the ball just wasn't going anywhere. I mean, I remember everybody complaining about it. I'm not saying like I'm like friends or higher up or anything, but I talked with a couple of guys that play conference, and one of them was there that weekend. He has no problem hitting any ball 400 feet, and he said he absolutely stood on one. It went like 380 with the wind at his back. I mean, what kind of fun is that?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing though is that Classic M is affected so much by the weather.
I agree.
And that's what surprised me is that it was flying that well because the Smoky has pretty big fields. I mean, considering. And
I think they're 310 down the lines and like 330 in center, something like that.
I think they're a little bigger than that, but I don't know for sure, but yeah.
I know. Let's see. I guess it wasn't that week. It was the week before when I hit with Bazat. We hit on a baseball field, and he was using that baseball field to get ready for the Smoky, just hitting whatever ball I wanted to throw him.
Right.
You hit 52s or whatever, just trying to get in some kind of a home run groove. It's kind of funny. He was talking about it. He doesn't really get a chance to hit home runs on that team. His job is to hit home runs, so he kind of makes a conscious effort to not do that, to kind of roll over a ball and spin on top of a ball because he doesn't want to hit the bad home runs. You get the guys that don't care, but they keep him around because he tries to do stuff like that. Still hits for a decent average and plays great defense.
Has a great glove on him.
Yes, he does, and it's crazy. I mean, he's not afraid to make any throw. It's fun watching him at league. I mean, he's out there against a bunch of peasant softball players. It's kind of funny to watch him just kind of make a mockery of some people. It's not like he does it on purpose. It's just I myself am one of them. Like I absolutely stood on. I mean, I got every ounce of my fat ass into a ball one time. And it like just skipped on a short hop, and I mean he just like picked it like I could have rolled it to him.
Yeah.
I mean it's just like you just turn around and go to the dugout. Like you don't even throw it, dude. Just save your arm.
Do you carry his bag for him?
No, not yet.
not that high up yet.
No, not yet. maybe I'll challenge you to a dinger derby, and whoever loses has to load the cars up. I tell you what, I might lose that one too. You know, a lot of people sleep on him, but he hit a lot of home runs that day. We were out there hitting at that baseball field, and he was making it a point to hit home runs. I mean, he can hit. Ain't nobody saying he can't.
I think that's a big misconception, man. The conference is full of pure hitters. I mean, how many major teams are there now?
3.
There's 3 major teams.
Honestly, probably should be 4. I mean, Pure's loaded.
Yeah, they are.
But that's not my decision. That's GW, so it is what it is.
But I mean, a lot of them, like you said, they play a certain role. Their job is to roll the ball over, or put the ball in play, or get on base. They're not home run hitters. I mean, but that doesn't mean that they can't when they want to.
Right.
Let's not discount that they're still pure hitters and they can hit as long as they want to.
Absolutely. But I guess that's why they're there and I'm here, though, because I obviously don't know something. I don't know the pedigree.
Oh, me either.
So, when you make your way back, what are you swinging?
I don't know. I would swing my vet from last year, but it's failed compressions on one compression tester or 2. Yeah, 2 compression testers. So I'd say it's pretty much done.
So you play a lot of freedom, right?
Used to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do they test a lot there?
If you hit a pitcher, they do.
Well, I guess you'd be blowing up pitchers then if they're testing your bats, huh?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
But I'll probably swing the Lloyd Z1000 just because I have that, a Baker, and a vet. I don't have a huge collection like I used to. I just don't play enough to justify it anymore, so I'll probably swing the Lloyd. I like it. It's not the best bat I've ever owned, but it feels good, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the same thing with mine. Mine feels good. It's hitting really well. Obviously, I haven't posted the update on it yet, so I guess you're kind of getting a sneak peek into one of the videos that'll be coming soon. I think it's cracked. I don't know. It looks like it's got a shark tooth starting on it. It still passes compression, which is very strange.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it's hitting well. I mean, it's hot. So I don't really know what to think about that. I hit it a few times just to kind of see what it was going to do because I'm going to be honest with you. If it's going to blow up, I want to do it on camera because I want to feel like a man.
Yeah. That always makes you feel a little better. It's kind of like when your buddy Dan was hitting that psycho in that video a few years ago.
Oh, man.
Dude, I watched that video a lot of times, and it just I'm still in awe.
Dude, Dan hits the freaking crap out of the ball, man. It was kind of funny, too, being there and watching all that because it was our buddy Drew. He was there, too. It was his bat. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, it's cracked. Just go ahead and finish it off. And, I mean, you saw that round. I mean, Dan just, like, wailed on that thing for, like, probably 60, 70 swings.
Yeah.
And he looks at Drew, and he's like, you realize these could have been game swings, right? And, he's like, I told you to swing it. I didn't tell you to break it. And I was like, man, whatever. We were all giving him crap. It was pretty funny, though. I mean, Dan, he hits the poop out of the ball. It's pretty fun to hit with him, especially like when it starts cooling off outside. Not even cold.
Yeah.
I'm talking like 80 degrees, man. It's just he doesn't hit like big bombs. He doesn't hit a lot like the real high towering balls. He cuts the ball a lot.
Yep.
So, but everything he hits, dude, it just gets out so fast.
You need to get that guy on camera again.
Yeah. See, when I quit my job with the railroad. I was traveling to St. Louis. That's where he's from. Like, for those that don't know, like, I'm basically stuck right in between Kansas City and St. Louis. Like, literally, it's like a 2-hour and 10-minute drive for me to go either way from my house. So, when I was traveling to St. Louis with my last job, I used to hang out with those guys all the time. Dan and Matt, all them guys. I loved hanging out with them. They're really good to me. I mean, I didn't have a car or anything down there, so they'd pack me and carry me everywhere. We'd go to League. We'd go to BP. We'd go drink sodas and stuff and, stuff you're not supposed to do out of town when you work for the railroad. But anyway, so when I changed jobs, I don't get a chance to go to St. Louis a whole lot anymore. I haven't hit BP with him in ages. I've seen him quite a few times, just being at one tournament or the other. We kind of cross some paths there. I still talk to him all the time, but I would like to get a chance to hit with Dan again. Dan, if you're listening to this, don't be a chump. Come hit with me on Thursday sometime. He lives like an hour from the town that I work in. He could jump in the car, meet me when we get off work. It'd be great. So
Dan, if you're listening, I don't know you, but you hit it a long ways.
See, he'll tell you he sucks. That's the best part. It's like I'm guilty of it too. I mean, he'll hit a ball like 400 feet. He's like, God dang it! He'd be like, y'all getting all mad and huffy and puffy. It's like, what's wrong with that? He's like, well, I wanted that to be through the 6 hole. I was like, well, it's through the 6 hole, but it didn't get a chance to land. You spun it so hard.
The humble guys are always the best.
Oh man, it's kind of funny hitting BP with him sometimes. He gets so mad at himself, and everybody's standing around like the people that haven't hit with him very much or you don't really know him that well. I mean, he's just hitting fucking lasers, dude. He's all getting mad and frustrated. He's like, I'm done. He'll throw his bat down and just walk away. Like, I'm done, no more. And everybody's like, the hell's wrong with this guy? Like, what's he expect?
We would pay good money to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing too, I mean, like, he's a tall guy, but he's strong as an ox, man. He's a very good power lifter. Bench, squat, deadlift, he does it all. And man, we've been sitting here talking about Dan for like 5 minutes. Is that creepy?
As long as you don't have a chub, yeah.
Anyway, so well, enough of talking about Dan, because I know Dan's probably getting weirded out if he is listening to this. Hopefully he is.
Yeah,
it's audio only. Even though it's audio only, you guys just pop that earbud in and go, plug it into the car and go while you're on your way to work. Because that's what I do. Listen to podcasts and radio shows and stuff. So I have these Q&A questions. Oh my gosh, from
oh boy.
I know, right? Let's see if I can find a date on one.
Did I leave any childish questions this time?
Did you what?
Did I leave any childish questions this time?
I cut out the ones that I felt like were worth looking at. So if you left something childish, there's a decent chance that I probably just replied to it and went on. So these are from December 30th of 2017.
Oh,
so if
man.
there's any of them that are like date relevant, I'll skip over them. But there were some good questions in here, so I wanted to make sure I did cover them.
All right.
So first one comes from Brian Madsen. He says, make the choice. He says, go vegan for 1 year and get to play softball, or give up softball for a year and eat whatever you want. If you cheat on the vegan diet, you can't play softball for 10 years.
That's an easy one for me. I'm giving up softball because I can go fishing.
For some reason, that does not surprise me at all.
That's an easy one.
Standard answer, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking I can find something to do for a year. I mean, does that play softball? I'm gonna lawyer this round here. Is that play softball like games? Because I mean, I can still go hit BP. I mean, hell, I don't hardly play any games anyway.
Yeah, so, exactly. BP is way more fun anyway.
Oh, absolutely. You never make it out. I mean, what's
exactly? I'm
what's
still
not
in the
to
1,000.
Yeah, that's oh man, I was talking about Little Rock a couple weekends ago. I went down and played in the Bush Classic, and oh, what a doozy that was. You'll see that in the vlog. I'm probably going to try and knock that out tonight and get that posted. Okay.
All right.
Back to the action after Will's buddy, I don't know that guy's name, but he rudely interrupted my story about how I suck at softball. So we're just going to move on to the next question.
He doesn't play softball, so he'll probably never see this, but I'll give him a good tongue lashing.
You should. You don't know the BP hero's not happy. Greg Andrews asks, thoughts around policing and eliminating shave bats from local league play? Thoughts around what the little guys... Oh, it's two separate questions. Okay, let's talk about that one first. Thoughts around policing and eliminating shave bats around local league play. If you want my honest opinion, it's impossible.
It is.
I mean, short of doing supplied bats, which does eat up a little bit of money. I mean, you'd have to incorporate it into league fees. You probably, I guess, you could charge an extra $50 a team. Depending on how many teams you had, you charge an extra $50 a team. You go out and you buy 4 or 5 bats and let everybody wail on them all year. Then at the end of the year, you're stuck with 5 or 6 bats that don't pass compression. They might as well be shaved, and you're still hitting lasers at people. I mean, there's...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to solve the shave bat problems. You can do all you want to, but somebody's always going to find a way to get around the rules. That's just my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like the pure integrity stuff. There are people that are shaving the pure integrities and putting the end caps back on them, and it looks like they haven't been touched.
Exactly.
So how they're doing that is beyond me. I'm not into that stuff. I don't care.
They're getting paid good money to do that, though.
Oh, absolutely. The money that people pay for that stuff is insane. Like, I've thought about just to be a troll, just taking a bat and throwing it on eBay, saying it's shaved even though it's not. But God, somebody probably throw a big fit and, oh, you're selling stuff you shouldn't be, which I am, but it would be a fun troll job anyway.
It would be.
It'd be worth the negative feedback I got on eBay. Then he also says, thoughts around what the little guys, example being Dudley, Anarchy, Boomba, Baden, and Anderson, can do to make a little bigger share of the market.
They probably won't because they'll never have the funds to do so.
Yeah, I mean, Dudley's got, their softball stuff. Anarchy is doing a pretty good job with their ASA stuff. I'm going to swing one of those tomorrow, actually. I've already did their Nitrous this year. I'm going to do some kind of limited edition Awakening. I mean, what's another Smash Sports bat, right? Anyway, they're doing a good job of making a splash. Boomba did a good job with their stuff, but there's hardly any marketing, There's one of the Boomball bats that they sent me. I gave it to a guy here local because he needed a bat, didn't have much money. So here, man, you just have this bat. When you're done with it, all I ask is that you give it back to me so I can pass it on to someone else. And he's been swinging it since I gave it to him. Dude, it is a hand cannon. It was good anyway when I gave it to him, but he's been hitting it since about this time last year. Just absolute hand cannon. And, sorry, I got distracted here. It's an absolute hand cannon. People are like, oh, what's that bat? Where'd you get that bat from? And everything else. And, I mean, if Boomba would market a little more, I understand that they don't have a big share of the market, but do something anyway. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand them. Go ahead, sorry.
No, sorry for interrupting you, but that was kind of my point is that not that they don't have the technology or the R&D to make a hot bat or to make a bat that can compete with the rest, but they don't market it enough. I mean, you look at how many bats or how many advertisements you see for, Mike and Worth and Easton and, even throw DeMarini and Louisville in there. I mean, look at all the advertising they do. They're big names. They're reputable companies. They've been around for a long time. I mean, they've built the reputation and they've kind of built the sales that they're making.
Sure. And that's, one of the things, I mean, I think that was kind of Boomba's playing with sending me these bats to review for them. I mean, I ended up getting 4 bats from them to review and do all the updates and stuff with, and very grateful for that. They were all great bats. I've handed them out and kind of done that thing with them. Just the people that needed a bat. Like I had a friend of mine that plays ASA, didn't want to buy an ASA bat just to play in his ASA league, so I gave him the T3, and he's loving it, dude. It's insane. He said that he's been hitting it, and all the other guys have been too. But sending one guy on YouTube that has 5,000 followers a handful of bats ain't going to do you no good. I mean, you got to get out in the market, do something other than that. Obviously, It's a step in the right direction, but, you got to go out and make a splash. I mean, you got like Chad Durick is hitting for Boomball now. He's playing in the conference, and that's one guy. But I don't know. I guess some of the smaller companies are okay with their share of the pie and doing that kind of thing. But, they could definitely do a better job of marketing, especially Dudley. Nobody talks about Dudley's bats.
Except on the senior.
Yes.
Guys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You corrected me on that for sure. Their senior bats are some of the best out there. Still, hands down, the hottest bat out of any bat I've ever laid hands on is an Adidas Melee 2 Inload. Wow. But anyway, Dudley senior bats are really good. Their U-Trip bats are very subpar. Their ASA stuff is, I wouldn't say middle of the road. It's better than middle of the road, but not by a whole lot. They're very durable, so that's nice for the people that play in leagues with 44s because more ASA bats are kind of getting away from doing the 44 stuff. But, so as far as that stuff goes, they just got to have a better presence. I mean, Anderson, who knows anything about them? I've got one of their two-piece bats from last year. It's their first composite bat, and I don't expect big things out of it. I was talking to somebody about that a couple of days ago. I mean, so this Anderson bat, it's no secret it's not going to be very good, but curiosity compelled me to swing it when the guy sent it to me. But what is their thought process knowing, hey, this bat's not very good, but let's go ahead and make it?
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't help your marketing either.
No. I remember back when I played baseball, Anderson made a freaking great baseball bat. I guess that would have been the early 2000s, maybe mid to late 2000s. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, they made a great baseball bat, and it was even outlawed in a lot of leagues. But
Really? Wow.
yeah, as far as softball goes, I haven't really heard anything from them.
I know that their fast pitch bats, even their slow pitch bats were good. They had a couple, like we'll call the composite killers. I mean, they hit very well. Not quite as good as a composite bat, but I mean, it wouldn't be worth buying a composite bat just to have the upgrade. Their fast pitch stuff, unreal. My wife bought. I actually found it at Play It Again Sports. It was a 3426 one of the Rocket Techs. I don't know which is which. I guess the ones that have like the riveted on end caps are really good. And I bought 2 of them at Play It Again Sports for $15 a piece. And my wife was hitting triples in men's leagues with those things.
Wow.
It's so funny. They see her walk up to the plate. You know, like our men's league here is kind of a joke. When we still had one, so you know, if there was a guy that needed a player, I mean, he would just. I actually played on his team. He would just call Emily because it's, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, there was not a whole lot of players. I mean, if there's anybody playing softball here in town, they were already in the league. So it's, you know, find somebody that doesn't know which hand their glove goes on, or grab my wife, who is a decent softball player. And she'd come out with her metal bat, and everybody comes scooting in, and she would just roast it over their head every time. Either that or just blow middle and have the pitcher look like he's up there swatting flies.
That's the best.
Oh, that's my girl, man.
Making the hubby proud.
Oh, man, it was so great. Let's see. Next, Paul Jordan says, cover who has hit the biggest shots in BP that you've ever shared with other hitters. So, like, who hits bombs in BP that you've seen? What you got? You got anybody local that's going to listen to this you can shout out?
Man, that's a tough one.
So
no, not anyone that anyone would know.
Right.
But I've been around some guys that have hit some absolute missiles.
It's fun to watch. It's demoralizing, but it's fun to watch all at the same time.
It is. It is.
Obviously, for me, Dan's got to be up there. Not to get on the oh my God, Dan topic again.
Oh, there you go again.
You're right. But Dan's up there. But I'll have to say probably the guy that I've seen hit the furthest and the most consistent bombs. You ever heard of Frank Yielding? He's played with a few of the combat teams, and he's been kind of floating around the conference. I'm not sure who he's playing with this year. So when I was in Alabama on a work transfer down there, I just coincidentally enough showed up at the ball field that he happened to be hitting at, and he let us hit with him. And, dude, I'm talking the air was so thick that day with the humidity down there. I mean, you could have cut it with a knife. And he's just hitting balls, you know, that are 60, 70 feet off the ground, and they're going 400 feet. It was just ridiculous. I mean, the guy's yoked anyway. He's out there hitting. I mean, the wrapper was on the ground right next to him. He peeled the wrapper off and was hitting like 400-foot scuds. The guy was just it was incredible to watch. And
some people just have that talent, man. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he had a baseball background.
Just have a gift.
Yeah, and he had a baseball background anyway, and it was just, man, it was fun to watch him hit a softball. I mean, obviously he's playing at the conference level, so he's good enough, you know, to be a good hitter. But you know, somebody else pointed out to me one time that he hit over 700 in conference one year, and his OBP was over 700, and he only walked one time.
Wow.
What a savage.
Wow.
That is insane. Just stop and think about that. You're up there playing for keeps, dude. You walked one time all year. You're getting your swings, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting your money's worth.
Yeah. Get their money's worth.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else we got? Why does nobody ever talk about defense? I'd be curious to hear some thoughts. Obviously, we talked about that a little bit earlier with Bazat doing his thing on the defensive side of the ball. Especially as you get into the upper levels of ball, defense definitely makes a difference. I'm kind of guilty of that right now. I mean, pretty much all I'm good for is pitcher or corner infield. It kind of holds you back a little bit, especially if you're looking to play somewhere. And, you know, you can find a bunch of good hitters anywhere, but you need defenders at a certain point. And it's kind of a tough boat to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the defense, if nothing else, it gets your foot in the door.
Sure.
I know a lot of guys, especially if you're a really good outfitter and can run a 3-man efficiently, and make the routines and maybe a really good catch every now and then. You look at guys like Reyna and even the pitchers like Travis Clark, for instance.
Sure.
Those guys came in for defensive purposes at first, and they turned out to be really, really, really good hitters because you get around the right people that teach you how to hit, how to play the game, and you take off from there.
Sure. That's oh my gosh, I just went blank. Oh, did you know, of all people, that when Chris Larson came up, he was the defensive specialist?
No, I would have never guessed that.
His sole job when he was there was to play defense, and he turned into a long haul bomber. Travis Clark did too, for that matter.
Yep.
But that's very impressive to be able to learn that kind of hitting skill. I mean, yeah, it's kind of one thing. With that phone interview that I did with Don Cooper, it was kind of cool to talk to him, and that's kind of what he said is, I asked, what's one tip you have for any up-and-coming player? And his short, quick, immediate answer was play defense. We can teach you to hit. And
yes,
it's kind of funny. I've always kind of laughed off defense because I pitch a lot, and there are teams that need pitchers sometimes, so that kind of gives me the quick in.
Right.
But it kind of made me realize, like, damn, he's right. Like, anybody can hit, but you got to be able to play defense too. It's like you said, I want a chance to play conference. Oh, well, what do you hit? Well, I hit 700. Oh, well, what position do you play? Oh, I'm a catcher.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we got a catcher hitting 800. Where are you going to go?
Yeah, you don't ever see anybody post on the boards, hey, we're looking for an EH this weekend.
Right. Absolutely. That is a very good point. Yeah, you're right. Nobody says, hey, could you the extra hitter, could use the catcher. I mean, you can stick anybody back there, and that's kind of another one of the EH and catcher are both another one of those positions. If you ain't hitting, you're really not doing your job. I mean, anybody can throw a ball back to the pitcher.
And you don't have to be hitting. You got to be hitting it well.
Right, absolutely. But that's a good question. I like that topic, though.
Yeah, me too.
What else we got here? Okay, last one. The hype of some older bats on the resale market and why it exists. Oh, man.
Oh, this is beating a dead horse.
Oh, dude. Between you and I, yeah, because we're always ripping on people and kind of sending screenshots back and forth to people, asking or paying astronomical amounts of money for bats. I just don't know why you would pay, an extra $200 for a bat that it's just a half ounce more inload is all it is. It's the same barrel, it's the same handle, it's got some cool paint and a little bit more inload. Why would you do that to yourself? Just go up an ounce.
I've had favorite bats in the past, and one of my favorite bats of all time was the black and yellow Freak Black from 2015.
Oh yeah.
There's no way in hell that I would pay $400 for one brand new.
No.
I mean it's absolutely insane what people, and it's like it's every year. I mean, every year like now the yellow Freak 30s are selling for astronomical amounts because. Dude. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the new ones, the Freak 23 granted doesn't feel the same, but it's still just as hot. I mean,
yeah,
I don't get it.
I agree. I mean, the Freak 23, oh man, what a conundrum of a bat. I mean, it is hot, but it's loaded different. But at the end of the day, that barrel's still the same. And
yes.
What else does it say? You can't even see. That's a thing that's kind of crap though. You can't even go buy an old Freak 12 because they're the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a guy, I think he might be up in Canada, I'm not 100% sure. He made a good move, and he sat on a bunch of 2016 Freak 30s, the black and red ones.
Yeah.
And he's selling them right now, $300 retail a pop. No negotiation. Yep. And people are buying them like hotcakes. Yeah.
I don't understand that. There's no bat that I would ever pay that much for that I just got to have. I mean, if it came down to me not ever swinging a 12-inch barrel again, I would never pay $100 more than what I should.
No,
just to have a 12-inch barrel.
No, I completely agree, and it's kind of one thing. Somebody made the comment to me one time, like I'm a big D2E Psycho fan. I love D2E Psychos.
Oh yeah.
And, somebody was like, "Oh, you rip on people for paying all these money for bats, and there you are swinging one." And it's like, okay, well, ask me what I paid for that bat. The last D2E Psycho I had, I think I had $100 in.
Yep.
I mean, I'll take that any day of the week.
I'm the same way. I mean, I've had exclusives. Hell, I swing an exclusive, but that doesn't mean that I paid exclusive prices for it. You know.
Correct. You paid the right price for it when it came out.
Yeah.
That's the thing that gets me. You talk about the vet though. The green Hummer is kind of another one. Like, dude, why are people paying that kind of money for bats? I mean, buy a Blue Line when they came out. You buy one of the older flexes. I mean, there's so many more options, but it's their money to spend how they want. People are foolish, and I'm sure I am too for certain things. So,
oh yeah, me too.
let it be what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's all we got for questions. This is gonna be kind of a lengthy podcast, and I'm okay with that. So I think we're gonna wrap this one up. This is the end of BP Hero Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1, brought to you by Evo Sports and Softball Fans. And Perfect Webs, my man's glove relacing little company there. I'm going to do a video, maybe Facebook, because I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. Man, that glove's looking good, dude. I need to do.
I'm glad you like it, man.
I'm going to do like a before and after. And, man, I love it. It feels so good. I was kind of skeptical that, like, man, I was like, this thing's worn out. Relacing to do it no good. And it did it a lot of good. So if you're listening to this, go check out my man's Facebook page, Perfect Webs. He's on Instagram on Perfect Webs too. Does a hell of a job relacing gloves. Send him yours and he'll fix you right up. But that's all.
Yeah, thanks, Jesse.
Hey, no problem, dude. That's all I got for this one, though, guys. We'll catch you in the next one, Will. Hopefully, we'll have our video issues worked out by then. If not, then you can listen to us just serenade you with our voices.
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, be good, Will, and we'll chat at you soon.
All right, thanks for having me, Jesse.
Yeah, see you, man.